How's it going, guys? ZDEyE here. So this is going to be an interesting video. Not to say that my opinion is different compared to many others, what they think about the Forspoken, but also is the way I actually got this game. So for the first time ever, I actually received an email from one of the developers, I assume, or perhaps somebody that, well, have provided a free code for Forspoken for me. And I want to say thank you to Fourth Floor Creative, Square Enix, and Luminous Productions for this opportunity. And as such, I want to clarify one thing, that this review, this first impression, is going to be non-biased. I'm going to be sharing the negatives, I'm going to be sharing the positives that this game genuinely deserves. And yes, few things that you would expect to see that this game does not really do well. Unfortunately, that's just the case. There are a few quite negative facts I have to mention. But I'm not gonna be closed-minded and say that this game is all bad. It genuinely is not. Like I said in my title of this video, I was actually quite surprised, in fact, that I ended up liking it than I thought I would. Now I want to say that I already played about, give or take, 15 hours. I've gotten this game a day earlier from its release, so I already got an opportunity playing more than I should have, perhaps. I haven't even slept because I've been playing it till 6 o'clock in the morning. And I gotta say that I'm having a good time with this game. Okay, you know what? I want to mention a few of the positives and negatives, and I want to say that definitely the positives is an example of a parkour system that this game introduces. It genuinely is magical. It's quite incredible. I love it. It really is fluent, it's seamless, and it works very, very well. I love it. It's just actually, it doesn't seem like very complicated, but it does look awesome. And as such, I want to mention another positive, and I'm sure you already know about that. It is quite a strong combat design, especially including with spells and everything that you can do with this combat system. And it does look fluent, it does look very, very effects heavy. I really like it. It works, and it has a good feedback to it as well. Whenever you hit the enemies, you actually genuinely feel that. It's nice. But unfortunately, there are some negatives. I have to mention them. And one of the facts it is the story so far was not that interesting, unfortunately. And unfortunately, a part of that story are the characters, especially the main character, Frey Holland. She is not a likable person. I genuinely do not like her. Like, she comes off more of a moody, she always comes off more of a negative person, as like just always constantly curses, constantly speaks whenever there's a combat moment, constantly speaks whenever there's exploration going on, and she constantly keeps on having the same dialogue system and talking about the dialogue. Yep, unfortunately that is not good either. There's just so much going on, so much cringe, and I just have to mention that. After playing more of this game, I noticed that actually in the settings you can dial down the Koff's dialogue during the gameplay, so that genuinely helps and actually improves the experience. Well, with less talking. Before I proceed, I want to say one thing. Guys, regarding the positives that I mentioned that I really liked, it is the isekai aspect. If you guys are familiar with the term of isekai, it's basically in Japanese of anime, if you have watched any of them, basically a main protagonist getting summoned, teleported, or reincarnated to another world, and he becomes strong or overpowered, whatever the way possible for him to do so. There's a lot of aspects now, it's quite popular and in the genre of anime and having a genre of isekai basically. This game is actually not that different from it. This is why perhaps I like it more than others. And if you are enjoying these aspects of anime, I think you may enjoy this game as well, because you genuinely feel like an overpowered protagonist with power fantasies in this world. And everybody pretty much sort of way looks up to you. It kind of speaks to me, and I like it. So perhaps maybe this is why I see this game on more of a positive light. I can definitely see what the developers were trying to do with this game, and I think they may have succeeded. But again, a lot of you that have, do not understand this aspect, or perhaps hate this game overall even though you've played it, or you're given a very poor rating for it, I can understand why a lot of people may not like it. It's the same thing to say, do you like anime? And a lot of people say, no, I do not. And some others will say, yes, I do. Okay, so I want to get back on track regarding of some things that I also didn't quite like. And it's a part of the combat. I'm talking about specifically the action itself is actually quite tough to keep up. For example, there's so many spells and upgrades that you can use, right, that you have in abilities. But the problem is they're becoming overbearing. They become way more intimidating to me because there's just so many buttons that you need to keep constantly aware of so you don't mess it up. But also, it's just that the power fantasies that this game has and so many things that you can do in terms of the combat, that it's just becoming too much. And you have to pay attention to this, keep up at it. It can be really, really overwhelming. For example, some of the side quests are actually okay, but at least I haven't tried too many of them, so maybe I cannot comment on that yet. And of course, one of the positives I definitely want to mention, it is the beautiful, beautiful designed open world that this game has for us to explore, to see, and genuinely this game does look good. Now, I know for a fact a lot of people have made screenshots of their own game for this game. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that this game is actually quite beautiful. It does look good. Now, sure, when they're having a conversation with another character, especially when there's no cutscene, yeah, that's a little bit questionable, unfortunately. Oh, and the biggest aspect, a lot of people have said and mentioned this. They believe that the world doesn't really have much in it, or perhaps that it can be quite barren. I'm happy to report that's just not the case, but I'm sad to report that the amount of stuff it's got, this world, it's overpopulated, and in things similar to Ubisoft titles, unfortunately. There's so much checklist that you can do within this game, so many things to collect, so many things to see. But of course there's a lot of copy and paste aspect as well, for the collectibles especially. Thankfully though, anytime when you do collect something, in some ways you do become more powerful. So I cannot fault them for it as well, because a lot of stuff in Ubisoft titles, for example the collectibles that you collect, you simply collect them for the hell of it or for the trophies. In this case, when you do have those collecting stuff that you do, you can go again for the trophies, but also for the power fantasy that you become stronger. Again guys, I am purposely, being a little bit vague. I don't want to go any story spoilers, because still this game is very early and I feel like a lot of you still have an opportunity of experiencing it for yourself. Perhaps it is the best way. You have to keep an open mind regarding of what this game offers for you. Now, like I said, if you like isekai anime, you will like this. I think you will like this. There's just something about it that just is nice, and I kind of actually like it. But again guys, I will make my own review video soon. I want to finish this game, I want to get a platinum trophy because I will be going for it, and I will share my full thoughts on it. But so far, I think I kind of like it. I kind of do. Right, like and subscribe, see you guys all later, and have a wonderful day.